Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to New Zealand. I'm Kiwi Christian, although many people call me a lot of other names, but that's fine. I couldn't care less. Anyway, it is nearly 8 o'clock on Thursday night, the 14th of the 5th month. I felt like doing this little one, even though I'm not feeling the best, answering atheists' objections. Now, this is a difficult one because I find some pastors have an answer for this which is totally wrong. So if you ignore everyone else and just listen to me, you'll get the truth. No, only kidding. Check it out for yourselves. Now, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. People say that they all tell the same story, just in a different way. That's a lie and betrays a vast ignorance of the subject. Atheists will say, well, they don't all say the same thing, so it can't be true. Who told you that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are telling you the same thing? Excuse me. This is part of a message that I'll give later on that I learnt from the late, great Dr. Bob Moray. I have some of his videos on my channel, and I do encourage you to watch them. He is brilliant. He is funny. He gives facts. Fantastic. And when I listened to this message of his, and I kid you not, I learned more in 3 minutes than I have done in 3 years. Literally. So, this is going to be very short. It's probably going to be 10 minutes, if that. So, I'm going to start. Now, by way of introduction, remember that the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they ask and answer 4 different questions. Matthew asks the question, what did Jesus, or answers the question, what did Jesus say? Hence, almost 70% of Matthew is composed of the words of Jesus. Mark answers the question, what did Jesus do? Luke answers the question, who followed Jesus? And John answers the question, who was Jesus? So those are the 4 topics. What did Jesus say? What did Jesus do? Who followed Jesus? And who was Jesus? You also have 4 different audiences. Matthew was written to the Jews, Mark to the Gentiles, Luke to the Greeks, John to the Christians. Matthew, Mark, and Luke are called the Synoptic Gospels because they deal with Christ's ministry to the public in Galilee. John deals with Christ's ministry privately to his disciples in Judea. So Matthew, Mark, and Luke do not mention, for example, Lazarus. So the liberal theologians and atheists, being nimnus, which is a polite term for idiots, I prefer the term idiots, will say, yeah, why would we believe in Lazarus? Because Matthew, Mark, and Luke don't mention Lazarus. Well, hello, they weren't dealing with what was going on in Judea. The Lazarus account happened in Judea. It's sort of like if I don't tell you about something I said in a previous video, in this video, that means that video or that event never happened. No, why should I have to repeat everything? The Gospel of John, therefore, is unique in that it is the private ministry of Jesus to his disciples. Not his public preaching, but his private. The emphasis is not upon the sermons of Jesus. So do you find the Sermon on the Mount? No. Do you find the Mount Olives discourse? No. Because his emphasis is on the question, who was Jesus? So where would you find the I am? In John. You wouldn't find that in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, because he didn't say that in Galilee. He said that in Judea. So, that's all I'm going to say for this one. And I hope it's helped you. Let me know. Remember, the four Gospels are not just different persons' views on the same topic. They are not all in alignment because they deal with four different subjects and are directed at four different audiences. Remember, Matthew answers the question, what did Jesus say? Mark answers the question, what did Jesus do? Luke answers the question, who followed Jesus? And John answers the question, who was Jesus? So say, do, followed, and was. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Look after yourselves and God bless.